Ta-da! We are
Ta-da.
live! Yay! Good morning! Good morning, Kylie. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good.
You feeling good?
I'm tired, but I'm here.
How many naps do you get today?
I'm just gonna try for one.
Okay. All right.
Just
I
gonna try
have
for
to
one.
go work at my little shop, so I get no naps.
Aw, I'll nap for you. I'll
Okay.
nap extra.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd appreciate that. I might fall asleep. Sometimes it's pretty quiet there, so
Yeah, you never know.
you never know. Anyway, all right. Well, hello, Bree. I know that you're here waiting, which is awesome. I love it. Um, we are here this morning to talk about inventory management. It's myself, Meg, and Kylie with Afternoon Antiques. I thought maybe Delaine was going to join us, so that's why her name is down in the information section. But she may or may not. She may just pop on and chat with us over there. So, um, my name is Meg. I'm with Jean Marie Vintage. I have been selling in some form since I was 18 years old. So, what is that? 93, 94? A while.
I
A
thought you
while.
were about to say 93 years. I was like, Meg, you're not that old. Like,
1993. 1993. I started doing craft shows when I was still in high school. So, but I've been on eBay, I think eBay and Etsy the longest. 2006 for Etsy, so it was really new. I've had a variety of shops. Most recently, I've been doing vintage with here. Let me think of all the things. So, um, I really got started on Whatnot before I started pushing eBay, Macari, Poshmark. I do some Facebook Marketplace, but I'm kind of pulling back from that. I do not like it. I do not. It's so people. I get 5 messages a day, and then nobody responds. So I think I'm done.
yep.
Yeah, it's not worth it. And then obviously Etsy. I try not to sell too much on YouTube. I don't like chasing people down. I think that's kind of my thing with Marketplace too. I don't want it to find you.
Mm-mm. No,
Come to
you
me.
find me.
Yes, come to me if you want my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So eBay is doing exceptionally well. I think I had 4 or 5 orders yesterday.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So, oh, Delaine, you are here. Awesome. Okay, I will add you to the stage. So, Delaine, we
I
are
I am here because
because you are.
it's been a morning, ladies. It's been a morning.
Feel
It
you.
has. It has. So we're just doing the introduction. So I was just gonna pop it over to Kylie.
So my name is Kylie. I'm
Good.
AfternoonAntiquesCo. I've been doing reselling for myself since I'm moving.
I know I was gonna move you to the talking part, but I don't know how to do that.
That's okay. I don't either. I'm a newbie. So I'm very new to YouTube. This will work. This will work.
Yeah.
I'm very new to YouTube. I don't have any videos yet, but I watch Meg all the time. But I've been doing reselling since I was little. My parents had an eBay store where they sold like purses and clothing and stuff. So I've been helping them since I was very little. And then I got my first ever own store on Etsy when I was 16. And then Afternoon Antique Co. has been in the works for 3 years now. We sell on eBay and whatnot. But
Really?
we used to sell on Etsy and Facebook Marketplace, but we kind of got away from there. That was a good business decision, in my opinion. But yeah, so I sell on all different platforms and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I sell all sorts of stuff. I sell ephemera and decor and antiques and jewelry and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, that's me
In the afternoon when you're awake.
in the afternoon when I'm awake. Yep,
Yep.
fact. You got me in the morning. You snuck me in here.
I did.
I
I
would
did.
not do this for many people. You are loved.
Yay! All right, Delaine, take it.
Oh my goodness, yes. Kylie, you look beautiful.
Thank you. I
Oh my
showered.
gosh.
I showered.
I didn't think I'd be on here to whoop my computer's falling. I didn't think I'd be on here today because I was supposed to be doing a knickknacks live. I was so prepared.
What
I have
happened?
40 odd items. We were going to go around the world. Sound familiar?
Oh.
And I went to start the auction. Look at Meg. She's smiling. She's laughing at me.
Well, I also
And
just spilled coffee on my shirt.
Oh.
Oh.
But
anyway,
yes.
it's a brand new platform with a lot of technical difficulties, and you move things to stage, which is kind of like pinning an item on whatnot, and then you hit start auction. Well, I had no start auction button on any of my items, so I had two support people in trying to help me, which I'll have to say the support is awesome.
Very good.
On knickknacks and on district right now. But so I ended up staying on 45 minutes and with encouragement, and people hung in to see the drama.
Oh my gosh.
And
people.
I had like in the teens watching this go on.
They were probably learning too.
Yeah.
And support and encouragement.
Oh.
And anyway, I've been selling. I'm going to do it, redo the whole show, start all over, and do it again. It's no big deal. I have been reselling probably 20 odd years on and off on eBay. I got serious about eBay about 2.5 years ago, joined Whatnot almost a year ago, and just started on Cherish. And I actually sold some Murano candlesticks for $375.
Awesome.
And I knew exactly where they are because they were in a china cabinet, safe and sound. And I just started on Vamp and Knickknacks, which are both on District. And that's it. I'm done. I'm not getting on any other platforms. That's enough to keep track of.
Yep.
So, and I need to learn from Kylee how to find my stuff. So does Meg. Meg, have you got something missing right now?
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I went through
Yes.
so many boxes yesterday. It's big. It's silverware. It's heavy. I've lost a whole set of silverware. And I do not. I have sold. What?
Oh, you sold it. Oh god.
Oh, it's sold. So now I have to find it, and it should not have gotten lost. It just, I had it listed on eBay. I have an eBay shelf. The problem, my excuse is that I'm moving stuff to Beth's as I'm able, and I think it's just I did not get rid of it. I would not have gotten rid of silver plate silverware. I just would not have done it. Would not have gotten a thrift store box. We'll see. I have 7 days to ship it. So
you'll find it. I believe in you. I believe in you.
Did you take it?
What?
Did you take it to the shop? Did you take it to the retail store?
No,
shop?
I don't know. And I would know if, I mean, I'm going today to do my day there, but I think I would know. I would think I'd remember. It's not very displayable. It's not in a pretty box. It's just in a pink plastic thing that you stick in your drawer. It's not anything particular. I mean, it's a very pretty set. It has tiny little morning glories that are like 3-dimensional down at the bottom of each of the pieces of cutlery. It's very pretty. I've had to turn down 2 other sales lately on eBay, and they'll ding you, won't they, eventually, if you and I don't want to.
Oh yeah. So we got to work on it.
Those cats will show up, I promise, Bree.
Oh, did you lose Bree's cats too?
I had them last week Friday for the sale and whatnot. And okay, Kylee, please help us with inventory management. Please.
Yes. And I need help.
Yes.
That's okay. I'm here to help. Now, I will say that I feel like I have mostly figured out, but I'm not the end
So we
all
got
be
spinning
all.
circles. There we
Oh
go.
no. Are you okay?
And now y'all are frozen.
Oh no! Ah! Robot.
I know.
Are we still good?
She's frozen. Sort of.
Okay. Anyways,
Yes, you talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have this figured out for myself, and there are a million ways for you to do this. You don't have to do it my way, but I would like to influence and help you guys get your own little hamster wheels turning on what's going to work best for you.
Yes.
Now I have plenty of space. I don't have like a huge house or anything, but it's plenty of space for my stuff. So I have a loft in my house where I'm able to, my amazing husband built these shelves that you see in the background, and it goes the whole way around the room. So I have a ton of space.
Yes.
So not everybody has that, and I didn't used to have that. So I know how it is to work in one tiny little room. So I also lose things sometimes because we just moved from Virginia to Indiana, and when we moved, we kind of had to, instead of doing what we should have done when we moved, which was put everything into a box that fits into its own category, we mishmashed everything into the same boxes. So it was like jewelry is in with the books, is in with the toys, is in with the decor. And so we had to separate it out. So this is kind of new also. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was using spreadsheets to sort your inventory. So I'm going to turn my camera around and show you something that, oh, how do I turn my camera around? Let's see. I don't know if I can. More.
You might literally have to turn it.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, here, off the tripod we go. All right, so I've created, this is a fake little sheet that it's just an example. So can you see that okay?
Yeah, I wonder if you can screen share.
I know, I was curious, but it's not on my phone. It's on my, let me see if I click camera. Nope, that's not what I want. Okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So here's what I have. This is the first sheet, and I use Google Sheets because it's free. But Meg, I know you use List Perfectly, so
I do.
So we can talk about that in a little bit. But so we have this is our office inventory catalog. So we sell in all categories. So yours may not look like this because you may not sell all these categories. But for example, we have books, and then this is the main category, and then this is our subcategory. So under books, we have lots. So what is lots? That's lots of books. INDV, and notice we're using 4-letter codes. That's called a SKU. So this is INDV, which stands for individual, MISC, which is MISC, and MINI, which is miniature books. So then each of these has their own number. So if I'm looking for an individual book, I know that it's under number 3001, book 3001. So I might pull up, let's just grab, I don't know, this random book here off my shelf. I don't have it labeled because I don't want to damage the book. So what I did was I have this labeled in my spreadsheet. So this might be book INDV 3025. And then I have in my spreadsheet, I'll show you, I have where each item is in my store. So this is another sheet. This is a separate sheet, same thing. And if you guys need help with Google Sheets, and that goes for anybody, just ask. I love it. I've always loved spreadsheets. I'm a weirdo. So here at the top, we have what do you need to do? And this is where you list what's next. So I put 5 examples of what I use as a what do category. So this says list it. This says photograph it, repair it, sold, and ship it. So then we have this check mark box of whether it's been sold or not. And that one's checked, so I know that one's sold, so it should not be anywhere in my inventory. And then here's our categories. So there's home, deco, and then this is where I would put that SKU number. And this is very, very in-depth and complex. And the only reason I do this is because I have over 3,000 items to keep track of. If you have less than that, you might not need to do that. So here's this first one. These are fake items. I don't actually have these. Not for sale, friends. So this is Fenton Red Vase. That's what the item is. This is the basic basic title. Then I have listing title, which is what I would put on my platforms. So Fenton Red Vase is what I call it. And then this is the title, Vintage Fenton Cranberry Coin Dot Vase, blah, blah, blah. So then you have a description, no chips or cracks, measures 8 inches tall. And then here on notes is where you would put your own personal notes. So for this one, this is a book. And I put binding torn, needs to be repaired. So if somebody asks me, do you have any Alice in Wonderland books? I can Control F, which is to find, and I would find in my catalog Alice in Wonderland. And I would have this come up, and then I'd look at my notes and be like, uh-oh, I can't sell that yet. I need to repair it. So I could always tell the customer, I need to repair it unless you want to buy it as is. So then we have the weight. This is the shipping weight. You might not have this exactly because not everybody ships their items. Obviously, when you're on Whatnot, you don't have your items ready to ship. You need to show them on screen. So this is an estimation. So the Fenton Coin Dot Vase, I've shipped some like that before. So I estimated that it would be about 2 pounds, 3 ounces. And this would be its length, width, height for the shipping box. So this is the most important part. Location, 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 location. So here I have showroom glass, showroom books, showroom figurines, cabinet, bottom drawer. And then the rest of this is like keeping track of how much you paid for an item. When did you price it online? When did you find the average price? What is the average price? When did you list it? When did you sell it? What platform? Yada, yada. So the location on there, you can see around my store, I have all sorts of different shelves. So this shelf right here is my miniature shelf number 2. I have 2 shelves of minis. So if I need to find a miniature that I have listed on another platform, I know to go to mini shelf number 2. And then down here is miscellaneous. Yes, you're allowed to have that category. You can have a miscellaneous category because it's like an antique clock, some vintage hat, a stuffed duck. Like they don't fit in other categories. So you can have a miscellaneous category. But I have everything on my shelves is separated into different categories. So like I said, this is if you have the room. So if you have shelves where you can put items in their own category, I have some of my categories are vintage toys because I have a ton of those. I have kitchen. So that's like mugs and plates and stuff like that. I have figurine section because I have enough of those that they get their own category. And then just it goes on from there. But if you don't have the room, this is where I'd like Delaine to come in. And because she talks about how she doesn't have very much room in her, and she's just like, what? You said my name?
I think she's reading comments.
I'm loading a show and listening and taking notes.
You're fine.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
Yes, and what my husband said in the chat.
What do you want me to say?
So how do you, I know you said that you kind of lose track of your items every now and then, but I've seen your shelves and they're good. So how do you manage having a smaller space than what I have, but you still kind of separate by category?
Yeah, well, I actually have a lot of space, but not all in one room. I have the room I'm in now. You can see that's the show that didn't get done. Yep. So you see, I have shelves. I also have over here these things that were drug carts that have smalls in them. And I'm crooked now. Then I have china cabinets. I have a china cabinet in the den. I have I have more of those drug carts in the breakfast room. We don't use a breakfast room, so there's drug carts lining that have kitchenware in them, and then on top of them, I have the top parts of china cabinets with shelves, and then I have half a garage that we're swapping out old cabinets that my husband's a contractor, so when we renovate a kitchen, he pulled out a set of old cabinets and I tried to use those, but now we're switching over to all closeted pantries. So I started out when I was in eBay with everything. Y'all, I need to fix this stupid camera. Just a minute. Prop it right. I know. Me and the camera hate each other. When I was just doing eBay, everything was skewed and I knew where everything was. Like CC, China cabinet, den. That's where all my good stuff is. You know, I had the shelves behind me and to the back of me marked A, B, C, D. And then the cabinets were marked A, B, C, D. Then the shelves were marked 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And I knew where everything was. When I started Whatnot is when it became a problem. Because I would pull things out for Whatnot, and then I would just shove them back wherever they fit.
No, don't do that.
They didn't sell.
Don't do that.
Never.
I know.
You have to. I know it's
and
hard.
Then now with knickknacks, it's even worse. So when I'm shoving them back now, I'm trying to put them in categories, like all the animals in one place, all the vases in one place. But it's basically what's in this room is what has been offered on a live lately.
Yeah.
I had a huge auction haul, and I had a pantry without doors that came out of a house. So it's listed as garage white because it's a white shelves. And I put all the angels and all the flowers and all the birds on there. Ceramic birds. So I am going to, is Whatnot, if Knickknacks keeps acting like a fool, I will take the time from the knickknack shows and try to do more categories in shelves. But then again, I also have a husband, like I said, and a son who are in construction. And right now I can't get to my shelves in the garage because it's full of flat box cabinets that they're putting together for a client. So it's a constant battle, but I haven't had to cancel anything because I couldn't find it. I have had to cancel things because I have broken it as I was packaging. Yes.
So Bree made a good point.
I'm going to do...
Bree made a good point. She says she used to have open shelves, but it's too dusty. She's in Arizona. So she said she has themed clear totes and clear Sterilite drawers of different sizes. So, that's cool that you can do that, Meg. That's cool. So I was going to mention on that also. So with Whatnot, if you sell on Whatnot or you buy on Whatnot, you know that not everything is a Whatnot item. So like these extremely old Chinese terracotta soldiers, I have a set of 4 of them. Not really a Whatnot item because they're worth too much money, and Whatnot people aren't willing to pay that. I'm no crazy lamp lady yet. Hi out there. But one day maybe, but right now I can't do that. So these are not something I would keep on my display shelves. These are something, and let me take you off my tripod. We're going on a field trip. Field trip through my dark house. So we are lucky, and we have 2 rooms in which to store our stuff. So it's a little messy, but this is our bin system. These all the way to the floor. So this is what Bree is talking about. These are items that we can't sell on certain platforms. We only sell on eBay. So what we do is we separate these into bins, and notice they're all labeled. They're out of order because, like I said, we moved and we didn't do it the right way. But like this is F31, and in my spreadsheet I have F31 has these nice, I'm getting it, these nice old scissors. Yay, scissors. These are fancy from Italy, and they're really good. My grandma would kill me if I sold these on Whatnot for $2. So those are an eBay item. So we keep these in bins. So we organize bins. F31, I don't remember what F stands for, guys. Don't know. Don't remember. We just used F. So we have that, and instead of using like our showroom shelves, because it's not going to sell on the showroom shelves, it's too expensive. So we keep it in its own little bin in the back. And now we know if something sells on eBay, we know where it is. And then if it sells, if I know it's on Whatnot, if it's a cheaper item or a more sought after item that I know I can sell on Whatnot, I would put it on the shelves out here and on eBay. So I just have to keep track in my head, which is hard. But you know, it works out. I haven't lost many items.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Is this helpful? Is this helpful information?
It kind of makes me want to do. I like spreadsheets. I like the idea of it.
Didn't work for me.
Yeah, and it's whatever works, guys.
It's
whatever works.
I used to be like charts, graphs. I love analytics, but it's
exhausting.
Yes, it's the time, and I'm already stretched.
I know.
And no customer out there is going to understand that.
No.
Especially the crabby one I had the other day.
Well, the spreadsheet, I didn't start this from the beginning. This wasn't here when I first started. So this came up probably 2 years ago, and I've been out there for over 3 years. So year number 1, it was chaos. I didn't know where any of my stuff was. I was like scrambling every last minute, and I was only on eBay at the time. So I was like scrambling to find stuff. So I decided that it would be best if I were to take a day off. And this was a lot faster for me because I've been doing this forever when I was doing my mom's and stuff like that. So I have a lot of experience with spreadsheets, and I used to do taxes, and like, this is easy to me, but it might not be easy for anybody who's watching because you're not used to this kind of thing. So take a day off. And I know that sounds crazy because we are all workaholics. Take a day off.
Yeah.
Yes, very true, Bree. Take a day off and use that day wisely. What I did was, instead of going into my inventory, physically grabbing an item and saying, okay, let me put this in my spreadsheet. Instead of doing that, I started with what I had on eBay. So I went into my eBay inventory. It's already all listed. All the titles are there. All the descriptions are there. I know exactly everything about it. So I would take that item and I would put it into the spreadsheet. And just, you have to start somewhere. And honestly, guys, if you want me to share this, and that goes for anybody watching, if you want me to share the spreadsheet with you, I can send you a blank spreadsheet and you can edit it however you need, but just to get you started, because the starting is the scary part. That's where you're like, I don't want to do it. I don't know where to start. It's stressful. So if you guys want a template, I can always send you a template. You can ask me on Facebook at AfternoonAntiquesCo. You can ask me on Whatnot. You can send me an email at afternoonantiquesco@gmail.com, and I will happily share this with you guys because I want it to be easy for you. We all should be succeeding, and it should be easy. It's not fair. It's not fair. So we also wanted to talk about, I know, Meg, you said you haven't used it very often, but could you tell everyone a little bit about List Perfectly?
Yes. So actually, I've been using it daily, but I've only had it like 3-4 weeks. So here's the thing about List Perfectly is I chose the lowest tier because I'm just getting into it. I only, as of yesterday, I officially had 300 things on eBay, but I sold one on Whatnot, so I had to take it off. So now I'm down to $2.99. Which I know 300 doesn't sound like very much compared to you guys.
No, that's still a ton.
But I as like last fall I only had 75. So I feel like I'm jumping up fast. Anyway, so I decided to go with the lowest tier, which I think is $30 a month for List Perfectly, which is still kind of a chunk, but I have to start. I have to do something to move forward. And the problem with the lowest tier is that you can only put 100 items on the List Perfectly site. However, I quickly figured out that you can go to your eBay and there's a little teal arrow thing, and you click that button and it'll give you all 12 places that you can cross post too. So you don't even have to go to the list perfectly site. You just have to install it's an extension onto your eBay and the other places, or you have to install it into the Chrome
Yeah.
bar at the top,
Whatever they
and
call
then
it.
it
Yeah.
automatically does it for you. Which
Chrome add is it Chrome add-ons?
yes,
That's
yes,
what it's called.
yeah,
Yep.
okay. That thing. And then any site where you have items listed for sale that they support, so they don't support Whatnot and not anything on districts. But they have a lot of ones I'd never even heard of, like Kitizen, and I mean I'd have to go look, but something that's like all male clothing, like high-end male clothing. Um I'm not Emily is my clothing person, so I don't really pay any attention to that. But anyway, so I cross post. It'll do Facebook Marketplace, which is why I now have well over 200 items on there. But so I'm concentrating on Poshmark and Mercari. It will cross post to my Etsy shop, but they're not super compatible. I know, Kylie, you mentioned that when you were saying, I don't really know if I want to try it. I would, what I'm doing is I'm taking stuff from my Etsy shop and I'm moving it the other direction to Mercari and Poshmark. So sounds a little confusing, but I'm not crossing eBay and Etsy, but I am crossing Mercari and Poshmark. And I've actually sold more handmade items on Mercari than I have on Etsy.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, Etsy's finicky sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. You have to cross your T's, dot your I's, have all the correct keywords, and I don't know. It's not. I don't know if I would actually recommend Etsy to people these days. It's every category on there is oversaturated.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't want to go on a rant about it, but yes, it's expensive. Especially for me, like we have so many items, and I think I listed 500 items there. That's 20 cents per item per month, no matter what. 20 cents times 500. Woo, it gets a little pricey.
Yes.
Where eBay's free to have all these things listed until it sells. So
exactly. So I think I hate to give up my Etsy shop because I really just started it again, or started a new one, but all I've gotten are likes. So that's not
too saturated.
Yeah.
Back to what Bree said. She said, I think putting like things together is key. So we actually discussed this before we went live on here. We discussed how I have seen, and I'm not saying this is wrong at all, but I've seen some sellers do sorting by color, which when you think about it, that's not, oh my goodness, Meg. That's fine for like if you have a store and you want to appeal to people and you have like a live store. But when you're talking about inventory that's not open to the public and it's just for your eyes only, it's not great, because this is both brown and it's also tan. Well, I don't know. That's a bad item. But this is
that is a bad item.
Yes. This is both white and blue and brown. So which category would I put this with? I would probably say, yeah, I would say put it with white because it's mostly white. But then what about future Kylie? What is future Kylie going to think? Is she going to think, well, it has a blue design, so that should be with blue, and then I'll lose it and I'll have no idea where it is. So that color's not a great idea. Same with, what was the other thing? Theme. So I used to do this myself. I would put spring items in together. And that didn't work out because when I would sell, like, let's say I would have a chicken figurine, and I think in my head, like a chick, not a chicken, a chick. And I would think, oh, that's pretty springtime. That's like Easter. Let me put that with Easter. But then my future brain wouldn't think that. My future brain would be like, it's a figurine. Why isn't it with figurines? And then I'd cancel the order because I couldn't find it. And then a week later, when I do a spring show on Whatnot, I find it and I'm like, dang it. I
could see putting it with animals.
Yeah, put it with animals. So like I tend to sort by category of actual item. I try to forget about what the item is. So like I have a figurine section. It's figurines of animals, figurines of miniature, or not miniatures, but figurines of like I don't know, what else is not an animal?
Like a building.
A building or people, you know, stuff like that. And I put all figurines together. And in my head, I also have a statues section or sculpture. So the difference is that a figurine is under 4 inches in my head. And if it's bigger than 4 inches, it's a sculpture or a statue. So I separate it that way. But that's just me. You guys can use your own rules. The important part is, are you yourself going to be able to find it?
Where would you put this?
I would put that with my miniatures because it's it's a mini version.
Oh,
that's good.
There you go, right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would put that with my minis because I think my miniature people would buy that because it's a miniature version of a building.
Right.
But you might, if you don't do miniature shows or you don't have a mini section, figurines is perfect for that. But it's very cool. I love that piece.
And where I have this bank of drawers. Where I have this bank of drawers over this way, I would put it in there because it's all done.
We're backwards.
This is backwards. Challenging. Backwards. That way.
Backwards.
Over there. That bank of drawers, all my smalls go in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can have drawers too. If you don't have room, that's why I wanted you to talk about that, Delaine, because if you don't have room on your shelves to display it, because not everyone does scan my shelf shows on Whatnot. Like I do that, but I also do catalog shows. But not everybody does scan shows. And honestly, I don't do them often. So I don't need everything to be out and about on the shelves for everyone to see. I just need that for myself because if I don't see it, I forget it exists. I forget all about it. So I can't do the drawer thing. I would forget all about it. But if you can do drawers, go for the drawers because that hides it away. And that's how I do my ephemera. Ephemera I don't display because it needs to lay flat to store it. So I have those in drawers. And that's the best way for paper. So you find out your favorite way to do things, and there's no right way to do it. You just got to do it. That's the most important part, is organize it. And as tempting as it is, I still have my show from yesterday. We did the Around the World show. As tempting as it is for me to just take all the stuff from yesterday and sit it on any old shelf, I know that future Kylee will be very mad if I don't put it back where it belongs, and I will be making more work for myself. So I force myself to take an extra 15 to 30 minutes to put things back where they're supposed to go so that next time I have a show. You got to kind of force yourself to do this sometimes because reselling's hard. It's hard. Not an easy job.
It's almost a 24/7 job because last night I was laying in bed thinking, where's that silverware?
Yep. Yep. And I was laying in bed thinking, what about inventory should I say? All the time. You can't stop. So let's see. What else did I have? List perfectly, SKUs, sort by category, organize your shelves with bins and such. Yeah, I think that was all that I wanted to talk on. So if you guys have questions, feel free to ask.
Oh yeah, that your husband to build a shelf.
I know, right? I know, he's an angel. I love him. So I also have, for those of you who resell on multiple platforms and you do live shows, I have designated 2 shelves in this room for upcoming shows because I do probably 3 shows a week, and I don't want to scramble in the last minute. So I have 2 shelves, and they don't have to be shelves. They could be, you could take a bin. Sometimes if I have too many shows that week and I don't have enough shelf space, I'll take a bin, like a plastic bin, and I'll just put what I want to sell that week in that bin and tuck it under a table. So I have all of my stuff prepared so I'm not scrambling at the last minute. So I think that's also important if you're a live seller to have sections like that as well, and then just periodically trade it out with seasons. That's pretty good.
We with districts, which I think I forgot to mention earlier, but I don't know if anyone cares. That we Emily is kind of in charge of that because it's on her phone at the moment. She's decided next week we're going to do Valentine, and she was just kind of looking around, and we were talking about like, what are we going to put on for our Valentine show? So we were kind of mentally gathering inventory for that, not really because there's no room to put it. But kind of the same thing. Like,
Yep.
this is what our upcoming show is going to be themed around, and these are the items we want to pull for that.
Yeah.
Which a little closer to the date, we'll pull it.
But you have to also remember if those items are listed on another platform, and sometimes I forget this, but if it's listed on another platform and we lost Delaine. If it's listed on another platform and I can't find it in its usual spot, like let's say like a figurine, I have an animal show coming up on Whatnot. Follow me on Whatnot. And I have an animal show coming up, and most of them are figurines. So I have my figurines is a little lacking right now because they're all on my upcoming show shelf. So if I were to accidentally sell one of those eBay items, which not on accident, I want it to sell, but if I were to sell an item on eBay that is supposed to be in my animal show, I go to my figurine shelf, it's not there. I'm like, oh no, what the heck? So instead of panicking, I look at my upcoming shows or I look at my shelf and I'm like, okay, it has to be over there. So then I would go grab it. So you just kind of got to keep it in mind when you're doing that.
I sold a piece on Whatnot last night, so that I'm like, okay, well, now I have to take it off of these 4 platforms that it's listed on. And actually, that's one thing. If you get the higher tier on List Perfectly, it will delist for you.
That'd be nice.
It would be really nice, but I don't want to pay for it. It's worth, I think it's worth my time right now. Technically managing 300 items, a little bit more than that, but yeah, it
doesn't do it for Whatnot for you anyway. So either way, you still have to go back and delete it from somewhere. So you might as well do it all. Delaine's internet kicked her off. Poor girl.
Oh, your internet. Oh, I see. Sorry, Delaine. You were being a little fuzzy anyway. So, all right. So yeah, that was you kind of inspire me to get out there, and I can't even, but you can download is it CSV?
Yeah, you can. Oh, from eBay?
Yeah. Yep. Well, and from actually quite a few platforms have them.
Yeah.
That would kind of get started in the spreadsheet.
And if you ever have a question about this stuff and you can't reach us, just literally Google, how do I find eBay CDV? And I promise you, someone out there, or CDV, I'm thinking Carte de Vista, Ephemera, I get my brain, CSV. Google how to find eBay CSV, how to find Whatnot CSV, et cetera, et cetera. It's out there, and they want you to find it. They just kind of hide it for those in the know.
I tried doing that, so then supposedly you could upload those to different platforms, but I could never figure out how it all worked. So I gave up.
Yeah, I actually used to do bulk listing on eBay as well, where you download the template and it has like sections. It's like listing title, description, category, etc. And you upload the mass CSV. Or no, that was on Facebook. Facebook used to have that. So I would copy my eBay listings from that CSV and put it onto Facebook Marketplace. But I don't use Marketplace anymore. Like you said, they're strange over there.
It's a waste of my time. And people lowball you really quick.
It's like a virtual yard sale.
Half of what I had. I'm like, dude, first of all, I have to meet you somewhere because you're not coming my direction. I have shipped a few things, and that I don't mind. The shippers tend to be a little more willing to pay the full price.
I used to exclusively ship on Facebook. I didn't do any local meetup because I'm a quiet, surprisingly, shockingly, believe it or not. I don't like going to meet people at different places. It makes me nervous. So I'd be like, will you meet me at the local police station? Like I'm really nervous about it. So I would exclusively ship. And I think I've shipped like 400 items on Facebook before I gave up on Facebook because it was just, like I said, like all the messages and it wasn't as user friendly. So I stick to eBay. They know what they're doing.
I'd say it's really easy to list something on there, but it's just not worth the back end.
Yeah. You have to re-up, what's it called? What do they call it?
Relist.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks or something.
And that's just too much work. I can't do it. I want it to be there and just be done.
Yep. Exactly.
So.
All right. Well, I feel like maybe we've got over quite a few things. And do you have any last minute like little tip you could
Just do it, guys. I
give?
promise you, future you will thank you, and you will be living in a simple bliss, and you won't be missing your items. And past Kylie was so stressed out. I didn't know where any of my stuff was. I just didn't have time for it. But now that it's all in its own little place, it's very organized, and I'm very proud of it. And I feel so much better when it's time to start a show, because reselling's hard enough as it is. So I think you might make it harder on yourself by not taking the time to really organize your stuff. So do that. It's a favor to yourself, I promise. It really is. And like I said earlier, I'm not the end all be all. I'm not like a guru of inventory. This is just what works for me. So if you guys have any suggestions, yes, and you don't have to do it all in one day. You can do this do like 2 hours a day, every 2 days, or whenever you have free time. Just don't kill yourself to do it. It's supposed to be fun. Remember, most of us are doing this either as a part-time fun thing, or like me, I'm doing this full-time. This is not for fun, this is for work. But don't make it more work than it needs to be. Just do the work now so that later you can relax and everything's comes to light naturally.
Naturally. How many items do you have listed on eBay?
Right now I think about 2,000, but we have about 2,000 more that we haven't listed yet since we moved. So we have a lot to still get to.
Does that include that person that you're selling for?
Yes, I do have. I have one person that I sell for. I used to have a couple others, but it does include my commissions. But there's not many. I think she has like 50 items total.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got my first two pieces from a friend who wanted to sell her mom's old dolls.
Oh yeah.
They're not porcelain, so
Right.
it's some movie star, and that thing is probably 2 feet
Ooh.
high.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a good one. So I was willing to do that, but I don't want to do piddly. I got enough piddly, tiny.
Oh yeah, that's another tip. When you're selling commissions for other people, not only can you do SKUs in your spreadsheet, but when you list to eBay, you can add the SKU number right in there. So when it's time to go ship, you don't have to consult your spreadsheet. The spreadsheet's just a backup in case, you forgot to put it on eBay one day. So you can go to eBay and its SKUs are right there. So what I do for the commissions is I will put the person's name, like the woman I'm doing commissions for right now, her name is Tammy. So on eBay in the SKU section, I put Tammy, and I have her stuff completely separate from all my other stuff. She has her own shelf of commission items, so I don't mix it in and get confused.
Yeah.
So
That's a really good point too,
yeah.
because I just right now have those two items, those two dolls I want to sell. But yeah, I should definitely have those a separate box,
Yep.
something well labeled, so I know this is yeah.
Yeah, that's why you will likely never see me do a mix show of my stuff and her stuff, because it's difficult to separate the expenses and the income and all that stuff when you're doing two things at once. But it's also, you don't want to commingle your stuff, because then you might mix it in, forget about it, or, so keep
Yeah.
them separate as much as you can.
100%. Okay. Thank you, Kylie, for all of your tips. And Delaine, thank you wherever you are
Out there.
in internet land. All right. So thank you so much. And
Thanks for having me.
oh, you know what? Here, let's I forget. I wrote it
I
down.
was saying, let's raid. I was like, oh my gosh, where are we?
Oh my gosh. That's so in my head though. Like that's
Right.
what we do at the end of a show. We raid. Yeah. No, inventory management. And then next week we will be discussing social media on here. So I think Delaine is especially excited about that one.
Good. She's good at it.
I think she could use some help. I'm certainly not an expert, but between all of us we can.
Yeah. I'm pretty good with Instagram. I think I do Instagram more out of all of the group of us, but Penny is pretty good at Facebook.
Yes.
She's good at the Facebook advertising. So
she's all over the place with that.
Yep.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. That was fun. Okay, I'm gonna go live my life now.
Okay,
And
same.
maybe make a spreadsheet. And you're gonna take it out. All right.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.